As a man thinks, so he is. Part 5. We are continuing on our journey so that we can identify just how man creates. In Part 5, we will be moving on to the next 3 words found in Proverbs 23:7. If you are entering in midstream, I would suggest for you to watch the previous 4 parts leading up to this one, as they are successive in nature. If you choose not to, you will still find valuable information in this teaching, and then hopefully you will choose to go back in order to catch up. As always, freedom and choice. May this portion bless you no matter what order you listen to it in. Thank you for being here. Now we'll be moving on to the next 3 words. He says, to you, and but his heart is. First, let's take a peek at Yomar, which has been translated as he says. This word has the meanings of word, speech, say, speak, utter, to be told, answer, command, tell, call, promise, to intend, to be said, to be called, appointed, avow, which means to assert or confess openly, and since we are a part of duality, we also have boast or to act proudly. In its written form, we see it here having an added yod on the prefix, so it means that it's pertaining to mother. She is to convey to you through word and speech what you are called to become, giving you this vision if you choose to receive it, which is the promise of what is intended for you as the called, but only if you choose to go through the door of your inner man. She will come against you if you are boastful or if you act proudly in this process, as neither of those positions fit the vision of becoming. We see that we have 2 words actually found within Yomar. Which is mother, and Mar, which means bitter. It is mother's teaching that is bitter at first. Through the Spirit, she is to provide living water, the teachings to those who are poor and destitute in spirit, as they are children who must grow up so that they can lead themselves, instead of the bitter nature of the beast that leads them now. This is why there is an activation of vision here, through the addition of the yod on the prefix. With no vision given, you wouldn't be able to activate this, as it would stay static, full of potential, but out of reach for you. She gives you this vision of becoming, so that you have something to aim towards, a goal, to desire, to empower you, giving you the means and direction so that you can deliver yourself of the beast nature. In a way, I am acting like mother, to show you that there is a way, giving you this vision through the teachings that I present, so that you would desire to seek that which will deliver you, so that all the promises could be kept for those who are willing to prepare to receive it and become it. How would you know unless someone presents it to you first by delivering the vision? You must see the goal before you can obtain it. Moving on, we have next which has been translated to as, to you. They do not give a Strong's number for it. However, this word appears in Scripture as connected to halach, as many times halach is written in the Scriptures without the symbol he, and at its root level it means to go, walk, and come. It is also related to live or to die, depart, move, a manner of life, to traverse, traveler, to walk a journey or lifestyle, as well as a payment for traveling, customs, and toll. The parent root through paleo is seen as a lamed kaf, pictured here. The lamed is the picture of a shepherd's staff, and the kaf is the palm of a hand, and combined, we have the meaning of staff in the palm. This is a symbol of one who is a traveler, a nomad, that we use the staff to provide support as well as a weapon to defend oneself. In English, this word became walk by adding the W. This is a teacher of light who has bent themselves to the yoke of the language, grasping its revelation, that is their walk and mode. As I did with previous video, I'm not going to break everything down for you in detail because these videos become too long and I'm finding that people lose interest. As we have been looking at the word Amar and Lach, I've been sharing with you more on the mother's teaching. Part 1 and 2 of this teaching series, I expressed to you how much information is contained in one word, taking us into Father's portion. His teaching also utilizes the information that is found within the vowel points and cannellation marks, which eventually I will do teachings on. After we look at the next word, heart, I will share the full interpretation. Now for the final word in today's teaching segment, we libo, translated as, but his heart is. In its written form, we have an added vav on the suffix and the prefix. Leb, the word for heart in Hebrew, through Paleo, is the shepherd's staff representing authority, and the tent pertaining to what is on the inside. The combination of these two letters mean authority inside. This is the consciousness of man seen as coming from deep inside of the chest. The heart as the seat of thought and emotion, the true mind. We instinctively know this when someone says, "What does your heart tell you?" This Hebrew word carries the meaning of the inner man, mind, will, heart, understanding, wisdom, soul, as well as an inner part and midst. It also connects to knowledge, thinking, reflection, memory, and of the will pertaining to inclination, resolution, and determination, plus the place of conscience and moral character of an individual. So connecting in the previous teachings, through Interpretation Simplified, what we spiritually eat and drink will affect our thinking, our understanding, our determination of the will, our conscience, and moral character. All of this is what we create and experience as our own making from the place of the heart and not our head. Through the addition of the vav on the prefix as well as the suffix, we can see that the heart has been connected to the mother and the father, one representing humility and the other meekness, as it has encompassed the innermost part of man, affecting our thinking and understanding in a place that is teachable, now having power under control. Now, after reviewing these three words, I am going to present for the first time an exhaustive interpretation as to what I'm capable of doing present to date. This is going to be the hidden treasure found within, and it will be a very long interpretation, about 14 minutes in length. If you've already watched the video, as I previously posted it, you don't need to watch this again, but it might help to put it into context after breaking down these three words. May you be blessed. The promise held within the vision was given to me by the Spirit of Mother, and it was intended to call and appoint me if I received it and answered the call. She speaks this over me to tell me about the intention of the power that is given to me if I choose to enter the inward door that will reveal to me what I need to deliver myself of the beast ego nature. This nature that I shall deliver myself from has caused me to be spiritually weak, impoverished, as poor in spirit. The promise is that I shall enter the place of rest for myself, through the living water teachings of Mother and Father, the spiritual path I must journey upon that will set me apart from those who are outside of the covenant. This is what has been intended for me, that I would be marked with a different frequency, as a sign that I am exempt from judgment, as I have become the intention of the vision, as one who serves and gives. Mother has only been bitter to me, opposing me when I would do anything that was not becoming, especially when I would act boastful or proud, as these things are of the beast nature and do not fit with the vision she has given me. It has been her job to stand in the way if anything I did was contrary to the promise, in order to protect me as well as others. She knows that pride doesn't lead well and will only keep me in the waters of chaos instead of entering into the peaceful waters, as well as it brings chaos to others who I surround myself with. As I walk and take this spiritual journey, it has been revealed to me as I go along as a wayfarer, a nomad, seeking that which will pierce my heart, what I needed to connect me with Source, the Creator. I seek that place that flows with honey, but it has cost me much along the way. Until I become, I will continue on this journey to ascend upward to a higher place where I know and see my teaching shepherd of light, who brought me life by raising me up so that I could compress light within, in order to find the middle path between the light and dark. These hidden teachings that were brought to me were power and means and a direction so that I could connect with my higher self and find the rest that my soul has desired. I shall be made to glisten as the fair and goodly when my veil is removed, to show that I have been made beautiful, bright and cheerful, pleasing as one who has merited well while I was stationed on the mountain in the wilderness. It was through the consuming fires that made me shine, as the vision that was given was placed within, giving me the power to overcome my fallen flesh nature, so that in the end it would be completely removed. The sacred languages of the family of God, the family of one, raised me up from being poor and destitute, so that I am my own sovereign over myself, established as a first fruit who leads and does not follow, having produced fruit. I speak and scatter my fruit through the words that were given in the beginning, as the cutting edge of all that will cut through, piercing as with a clarion call. Through the power of the Spirit, I have seen that we are all one. I have been taught, and so I choose to teach as one of the lights, a shepherd that leads from behind. I have been yoked and tamed by the languages of light that reveal the vision of man and the vision of God to be one, that had been separated, but are now joined. This place has set me apart from those who are on the outside of this revelation as I pursued this path, that in the end I have been made exempt from judgment, as I have rendered all as one. Through the Spirit I was filled with power. This was something that I'd always dreamed of, even having prophetic dreams that would lead me to the teacher of light, the shepherd that would show me through the waters of chaos and bring me into the calm waters of deliverance. I have grown up in stages of maturity, as consecrated, and was able to replenish all that I needed so that I could accomplish the vision that was given to me through the gathering of the pieces found in the sacred letters of light. This I have accomplished, and overflow as one who now has and is full authority over myself, filled as a child of God that has worth, a sovereign and a first fruit within my own domain, as expanded within, plump, as no longer impoverished. These living water teachings of Mother and Father have made me fluid, as I was opened, no longer closed to the spring of life. The languages of revelation marked me with a different frequency, as one who is of the covenant, setting me apart from the chaos of the lower world. My fetters were loosened as a gate had been opened to me. to set me free from that which firmly bound me in the lower world to the waters of chaos, the veil of forgetting. As I traveled through the bitterness of this world, especially when I was spiritually poor and destitute, I grew up to become as a burning one having fire upon my head, a leader who chose to burn up all that was within me, that was not becoming attached to the beast nature, my fallen flesh. Now no longer under myself, no longer following, but actually leading. Not revealed yet as a teaching shepherd, I have been a nomad, a traveler, who has been on a journey with my staff of authority in my hand, which has provided me with support and protection. This is the mode of life I have chosen for myself, and I will live and die as a wayfarer, looking for that place that flows with honey. It has cost me much along the way, but afforded me to collect what I needed to press me tightly together. I have had to live frugally along the way, but that has also afforded me rest from the vanity of the world that leads to ruin, as in the end, vanity is nothing more than a falsehood of emptiness. I have come to the place of rest in my journey, as the way was shown to me through the Aleph and the Tav, the first and last, the beginning and the end. I have become a strong leader of the covenant, and one who has been taught, yoked and tamed, finding the way of one. I have connected heaven and earth through my pierced heart, as one with source, which is the thousandfold anointing of those who are associated to the family of God. Now married in spirit, fruit is manifested in my life, as I have been hedged in, supported, lifted up, and will be gathered as I have been made full of the fruit of the vine. My dreams fulfilled, as I chose to walk to the water that was given through my teaching shepherd. I was shown the door to my inner man, where I delivered myself from that which made me weak, feeble, and poor, the beast ego. I have now been made rich. The covenant, which marked me with a frequency not of this world, the twin teachings of mother and father, where I am now exempt from judgment, truly free, has shown me all that was a vanity, as the material world journey would consume me in the fallen flesh state, as a life that is worthless if I would have continued on that path. But I was given a vision, a seed that began to germinate within, that I placed in my heart. This is the spiritual path which I chose to accept and to do, that began a new life within me, producing what was necessary to become an heir, royalty within. As I opened myself fully to the language of light, I became set apart from the world outside, distancing myself from the emptiness that vanity produces. All of these choices have changed me, marked me, as I no longer judge myself or others. I am free as I have become one, sealed in the power of mother and father, one as they are one. This is my fruit. The anointing has come. I am no longer of this world, and in that I can truly rest. The power of this material world, through the fallen languages of man, is worthless. They are not of the truth and are full of lies and desolation. They are empty words and will bring about contention within the true languages of Revelation's light. But I choose to grasp and firmly hold on to the languages of Revelation, that in the end will uncover, in its rising, that which is hollow, shallow, and worthless, versus the true power that transforms lives. In their contention, those who hold on to the lesser languages will be devastated, as it will be revealed that there was no power within them, that it was a falsehood. I have authority on the inside, as my consciousness is the seat of my thoughts and emotions, my true mind now having wisdom and understanding. Mother's teaching is what I think and reflect upon as I inclined to connect to her knowledge, resolving myself to walk in humility. This is teachability. In my soul, my conscience has determined that this is the moral character that I will live by. Before I divorced myself from my possessions, the world bruised me, seeing me as the lower class. I felt weak and helpless as I walked away from the world, exhausted from my labor that was nothing but vanity. It was consuming me. But Mother led me to green pastures where I produced fruit in my life, although I am seen as an outcast. Mother connected me to the teaching shepherd of life, who was able to reach and teach me in this place, to raise me up from once being poor and destitute, but now as a first fruit leader, a sovereign over my own domain. In the revolution of time, the living waters teachings brought by the shepherd, through the staff of authority, I was goaded and urged to compress light within. These teachings were revealed, as they had been hidden while I was in the world of materialism. It dawned in my life so that I could walk between both light and dark, reconciling duality, which is the narrow path that revived, refreshed, and restored me to the living. Now, I am the staff, as I chose to build my temple through the covenant that was presented to me, marking me exempt from judgment as I have become built, as a house of light and darkness in balance and harmony, squared away as a gem from above. As being pierced through, I have intimacy and closeness to the family of God, having been made as one, no longer exhausted emotionally in the world. I have chosen to serve, laying my life before the Creator, giving all that I have to build humanity up as a gift from God through my spiritual practices, as I no longer contribute through my flesh, but through my spirit, as I am not of this material world. Walking through the door to my inner self, the sting of revelation of the depth that I was being controlled and manipulated in my emotions through the beast ego nature, I was able to lift myself from this feeble state. This I needed to know so that I could deliver myself from this lesser state of being, now standing in the authority as I have mastered self through the Father's teaching. I am secured in this place through meekness, my own power of my emotions under control in my true mind, my soul. This is my inner authority as a standing sovereign of the Father, manifested as one of his children who are of wisdom and have discernment. I am Melchizedek, a king who is a queen of right, standing, filled up, set above and set apart, having all of my spiritual dreams come true. Shalom, shalom.